Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I want to talk about the 3080 versus the 3060 Ti and my initial impressions and how this upgrade has impacted my experience. So let's get into this. So I recently upgraded the my graphics card from the 3060 Ti to the 3080 gigabyte OC edition. This card is freaking massive. I literally had to cut pieces out of my case to get it to fit. So yes, eventually I'll be getting a bigger case. Probably upgrading my motherboard. There's a lot of things that I'm probably going to end up doing just because of the sheer fact that this card is a monster and it's freaking huge. So other than, just size wise, let's talk about like how I'm feeling. Like how is this impacting my experience? How is this an upgrade worth looking after? Because this card is $900 after tax, $900 after tax. And my 3060 Ti, the whole PC build was $1,700. That there is a pretty massive upgrade. Is that extra added cost worth that big of an worth that much? So, I've tested a lot of games. That's what I've been doing this weekend. Just testing games, having some fun, playing around with these, and really seeing what I can do. Aside from the streaming issues that I've been having, I found my issue with that. Like, Streamlabs is very intense. Well, it's not that it's very intensive. It's that I've got my bit rate that I'm recording these videos at for you, so I can upload them at like 1440p at 60 frames a second. I'm uploading these at a very high bit rate, so that there is taking a lot of performance out. So I noticed the other day I was recording Witcher 3. When I'm not live stream, when I'm just playing the game, I'm getting well over 135. At 1440p, well over 100. In between, I've seen it go from 100 frames a second, 90 frames a second, and in intense things for like a couple seconds, all the way up to 150 frames a second. So I mean, I'm getting really, really good performance. I didn't see numbers like that with the 3060 Ti. With the 3060 Ti, we were right around 75 to 100 frames a second maxed out. And that's the ultra settings, everything, hair works at 5, whatever. So I'm noticing almost, I mean, like, the difference is huge when it comes to the FPS. Visual quality, I mean, obviously it still looks exactly the same because the 3060 Ti was able to push every single game I have to that higher quality visual standards. Now, there are some that really do make a difference. Like Ubisoft games tend to have a higher VRAM allocation when you get up to like 4K and 1440p and stuff like that. Now, the 3060 Ti was usually able to meet that at 1440p, no problem, and get me anywhere from 75 to 100 frames on basically everything that I played. And that's like the really intensive games that are out right now. Cyberpunk and Spider-Man are the only two games that I've had sub 100 frame rates when playing those, sub 100 frame rates while playing those games. Everything else has been a walk in the park. Everything else has been good on the 3060 Ti. So if you have a 3060 Ti or you bought one because I made a video about my 3060 Ti, you're good. Like, you're really good. You're probably going to be okay for like you'll be okay as long as you're not trying to do 4K like on a lot of the newer stuff that might be coming out. Like, I think that card is really good for 1440p at well over 60 frames a second, and that's utilizing ray tracing, DLSS, everything else. So the biggest thing I've noticed with this 3080 is I don't have to use DLSS on a lot of stuff if I don't want to. I can run everything. I can run a lot of stuff native. I can run Spider-Man native. I can run, and the funny thing is you run Spider-Man native, and you're literally, because I usually run it in quality, so I'm usually getting like maybe 10 frames. So I mean, this whole time I'm running everything on quality, and I'm getting like 10 frames more just by running DLSS. And now I can run everything native, and it still feels just fine. Like, this 3080 is a beast. It is a beast. It does make my experience smoother. Now, I was noticing with the 3060 Ti. This is the whole reason I upgraded, was because of, how like when I'm streaming and I'm getting my frame rate cut in half on the 3080. Well, it was doing that with the 3060 as well. The 3060 Ti, it was cutting my frame rates down. It wasn't giving me, I wasn't getting as many frames as I am now with the 3080. So now I'm able to get a high enough quality frame rate and play while I'm live streaming that game, or while I'm streaming that game, to where it's like, oh, but then, and I'm sitting here wondering, I'm like, why is my frame rate cut in half? Why is my frame rate cut in half? It really is all just down to the software stuff I've got running in the background, things like that. Now I'm working to get some of that other stuff turned off so that when I'm live streaming, it's not that big of a deal and I'm not losing as much frames. But I want to be able to provide the smoothest, 1440p 60 experience that I can, or even 4K, I probably can get this to do 4K now, upload videos of 4K, but it takes so long. That Witcher video I put up last night, that took, gosh, what was it, like 45 minutes to upload that to you? 45 minutes to upload that. So, man, overall, the experience with the 3080, you can instantly tell just how big of a step up it is, because certain games, like I'm playing Assetto Corsa Competizione literally maxed out with full grid, and I'm like, wow, man. It was hovering, like 60 to 70 frames a second over on the 3060 Ti. Now I'm getting above 100. It just feels so much better. Visual wise, there's not even a little difference. Not even a little difference. The only thing you're getting now from a 3060 Ti to a 3080 is literally performance. It's literally performance. That's it. Everything else is literally identical visual wise. That 3060 Ti is a literal freaking beast. When I compared the performance and the power and everything that I get from this 3080, ooh boy, that's kind of hard to justify. It really is. It is really hard to justify $900 more for a graphics card over a 3060 Ti. So so here's my thing. I'm a streamer. I needed the extra power, whatever. I can eat that cost, whatever. I can write it off taxes, whatever. If you're an individual gamer and you got a 3060 Ti, or you want just a card that you're going to run on a 1080p or 1440p monitor and still get pretty decent frame rates. I mean, you can even get a lot of games on your TV at well over 100 frames at 4K, just depending on how old the game is and what the game is and how intensive it is. Some of them shooters, like Call of Duty, yeah, you can easily run anything your Xbox or PlayStation 5 can do. Your 3060 Ti can do better, and hold higher frames and give you better looking resolution, higher settings, everything. That 3060 Ti is right above these consoles in terms of power. Anything they can do, it can do better. And that's fine. If you're a console gamer and you still love your consoles and you still want to play your consoles, I don't think the 3060 Ti is a bad investment whatsoever. I don't. That's why I bought it in the first place. I was looking at the comparisons and stuff, and I was like, all right, this is going to give me just a good enough experience to be better than the consoles, and I wanted to kind of keep my. I didn't want to blow my feelings about the consoles out of the water by just jumping straight into a heavy duty card like this 3080. But I'm telling you right now, I am kind of conflicted after getting this card, especially with all the new games coming out. I'm like, dude, should I just buy these on the PC? And I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, I'm literally freaking out about it a little bit. I will continue to buy them on the Xbox for sure, but some of these games I'm going to be doubling up on and getting on the PC too, because I'm going to want to see how they run on the PC on the 3080. But I also do have that anxiety about games coming out unoptimized for PC, especially a lot of the games I want to play. I don't want an unoptimized game. I want it to be good, but I feel like I have more than enough power to run anything that's going to come on these consoles well and above whatever they're going to run out on these consoles. So maybe I can just Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with this right now, man. I love my Xboxes. I love PlayStation. I love being a console gamer, man. That's the whole thing, man. I love being a console gamer, man. I wasn't even interested in upgrading or changing or doing anything like that. But now, like I don't know, now I want to buy everything on PC and see how everything runs on that. But I don't know, man. This is gonna take some time. I always do this to myself. I always put myself in way over my head. And now I've got so many hungry beasts that need to be fed, and it sucks, man. And the PlayStation 5 is probably still going to be the least played console in this freaking house. And that sucks. That really does suck, because the PlayStation 5, for what it is and for its fan base and for the people that love it, like it's an amazing console. Like it's amazing. Like it's great. It looks incredible on a 1440p monitor. It does. I mean, if you're not me and you're not a picky, snooty kind of person, it's fine on a 4K screen. Whatever. Xbox Series S, that thing is a beast. $300 on a 1440p monitor. That thing is going to give you a playable experience across the board, better than you've ever gotten at any console launch previous. Like seriously, if the upgraded consoles didn't come out last generation and this was the new Xbox, you'd be good. Like you'd be good. You'd be like, "Ooh, man, that's way better than the freaking Xbox One." Like, because it is a generational leap over the original Xbox One. No questions about it. It's got fast SSD. It's got 1440p resolution. It's got everything that you would expect in a step up, like a realistic step up. We went from 1080p to 4K TVs. If we would have went to 1440p, boom, your Xbox Series S would have been your beast. Would have been your beast. Your PS4 Pro would have been your beast. That's what I'm saying. Like that's why I can look at Xbox Series S in that frame of mind and say, yes, this is an actual next gen upgrade over what you got on the previous generation. Like it just is. There's no questions about that. This here, if you're a 1080p gamer still, this is incredible value. Xbox Series X, in my opinion, is the closest to the PC platform. I would say this like the Xbox Series X and the 3060 Ti are a lot closer. There's only 4 teraflops separating those, where there's like 6, between that and the PlayStation 5, because 6, 7, 8, that's 8 teraflops between the PlayStation 5. So that's where you're going to see that bigger difference. But there's other things in these consoles that are going to keep it, somewhat on a level playing field with a 3060 Ti. Like they will. Well, 3060 for sure. They'll be able to keep on at least a pretty decent playing field with a 3060. But the 3060 Ti is that step that I would recommend if you're wanting to get into PC gaming. I think that one will be just fine for you. I do. I think it'll be fine. You could do a 3070 or a 3070 Ti or a 3080. Like, yeah, you can do that, but you're going to start building up your cost a lot higher and a lot higher. 3060. All right, let's put it this way. A 3060 Ti purchase, you're going to pay that off a lot faster in saving money with not having to pay for online services, saving money with pricing of games. They're cheaper, quicker. And there's just so many ways to get a cheaper code for PC games a lot faster after release than there are on the console. So you'll save your money. It'll pay for itself a lot faster at a 3060 Ti entry level than a 3080 will. 3080 might take you I feel like my 3060 paid for itself within like the first 6 months. This 3080, man, oh boy, it's gonna pay for itself pretty quickly too. But it's good, man. Like, it's good. Like, I think we're living in a time where our consoles and our PCs are literally at the precipice of like something greater. I personally, a lot of people are probably wondering, dude, the 40 blah 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 comes out in like a month, or like the 4080 cards will come out in like a month. Dude, you would have to redesign your whole platform. You have to go with the AM5 board. Like, I just have to rebuild the whole thing. So it would be like, well, I'd literally be buying a whole new PC just to upgrade to that. Like, that's crazy to me. When a 3080, we're not even at games right now that are fully utilizing the power set that's built into like even RDNA 2. Like we're not even seeing anything in RDNA 2, let alone freaking Ampere. And now you want me to go and buy the newest card? Like that they're like talking about like, oh, DLSS 3 and blah blah blah. And I'm like, do we really even need that power yet? Because let's face it, everything that's built for these consoles, that 3080, no matter what, is going to 100% run better than these consoles are ever going to run that. And these are about, we got to be at least another 5-6 years before I necessarily have to upgrade my platform just to be able to run whatever the new consoles are. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, a 3080 is more than enough to do what I got to do streaming wise, and more than enough to do what I got to do when it comes to the consoles. So yeah, I made the smart choice. I made the right choice. I don't need a 3090. Like, why would I need a 3090 or a 3090 Ti, man? Like, why would I need that? Honestly, like, why would I need that? There's not one game on the planet that's really, truly going to utilize any of those features for at least another few years. Like Cyberpunk, we could say, yes, Cyberpunk does tank your performance. Like it does. So does, like Flight Simulator and Spider-Man and all those. But guess what? They all run just fine on this graphics card and well over 60 at 1440p resolution on Cyberpunk. And I can run it at 4K 40 with everything maxed out. Like, I don't need everything maxed out. Like, I really don't need everything maxed out. Like, high would get me where I need to be. So yeah, I think I'm good to go. Like, another $1,500 for what, a few more frames? Like, the cost, the money's just, it doesn't make sense past the 3080 for me. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. My case is too small. This is literally the best card for the build that I have right now. Like, literally the best. It's perfect. The power rating, everything like that, it works just fine. So that's where I'm at with this. I'm going to be doing going forward. I might start benchmarking like some of the newer games on the 3080 card, as well as, like whatever console I buy it for. I'm hoping that I can, I really am. I'm hoping that I can afford to buy the PC and the Xbox version going forward. So if I do that, that's just going to mean that I'm going to have to start buying less copies of, I'm going to have to stop buying, I'm going to have to stop covering literally everything. I'm going to have to buy certain games and then really sit down and focus on those games and like really cover them really good on, like the PC and the Xbox, because I'm getting spread too thin doing so many different games. It just makes things so much harder. And it's just, I don't know if it's worth the hassle anymore for doing a lot of that stuff, But yeah, like I'm excited, man. I'm feeling optimistic about this channel. I'm feeling optimistic about the way things are going. So this is pretty cool, man. I really do appreciate, I really do like this card. This card is great. It is great. But like I said, if you got a 3060 Ti, there's no reason for you to upgrade unless you have to have more frames. Like, that's literally all you're going to get is more frame rate. I promise you that is it. I could have run, I've tried every game I've tried on this, I've tried on that 3060 Ti. Like, every game I've played on that first. I am seeing zero improvement in visuals. Zero improvement in visuals. When it comes to power, like the only thing I'm really getting is frame rate. That's literally all I'm getting. So if you've already got a 3060 Ti, man, like, you're good. You're good unless you have to have more frames. And then you ask yourself, is $900 worth almost double the frame rate? It's almost double on a lot of games. It's literally almost double the power. So yeah, it's about almost, it goes anywhere from about 30% up to 50%. Maybe some games a little bit more than 50%, but that's about where I'm seeing in general gameplay with the stuff that I've been playing. Like right now I was just testing Need for Speed Heat earlier before I got on, and that one there had me over 100 frames, whereas on the 3060 Ti was right around 60-ish on 4K, and 1440p was a little bit higher than that, and obviously this is a little bit higher than that, but that's where I'm at with this. Like, you're going to get better frame rate, yes, but is $900 for you worth better frame rate? That's something you gotta ask yourself, man. Like if you got a 3060 Ti because you went with my recommendation, I still 100% think that card was worth it. I do. I think it was worth it. I don't know how to justify telling you to go buy a 3080 if, like right now, with the over the weekend, with what I've learned and what I've played and what I've seen and what I've done. I don't know if I could recommend you spending $900 over a 3060 Ti. Like I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could do that because that 3060 Ti is a beast of a card, and it was already powering through everything that I threw at it when it came to the consoles. The biggest reason I needed it is because, like I said, when I start streaming, I get cut in half. And that's with the 3080. Now I'm getting about the same performance that I was getting with the 3060 Ti, but I'm able to stream that at the same time. So this is awesome. This is awesome for this channel. I don't know if you need to go out and upgrade if you got a 3070 or 3070 Ti. Yeah, definitely don't upgrade. If you've got a 3080, I don't think you really need more power than that. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. At least for the next few years, maybe wait until after these, because these new cards, obviously they're pricing them high. So I would wait a couple more gens. So, I mean, any way you look at it, the 3080 is trading blows with the 6900 XT, which is, AMD's, top card. So either way, that's trading blows. The AMD's doing a little better than the 3080 in some games. 3080's doing way better, a little better. So, I mean, those are two pretty comparable, cards for the most part. They are doing pretty good, but it does look like the NVIDIA card is destroying it with ray tracing. Ray tracing is another thing, man. Like, I like it on the PC. I don't really care for it on the consoles. I wish they would just not even do it on consoles because it's literally pointless. Unless they're just going to do like shadows. Shadows is perfect for consoles. It's not as intensive as like the ray traced reflection, stuff like that. That, to me, that's just a waste of performance on these already. Because these consoles should give you anywhere from 1440p all the way up to 4K with just the rasterization that they have built into these chips. Like, you should be okay with that, but you're going to still need a lot of upscaling, and that's for sure. So, all right, man, that's all I got to say about this. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.